My heart belongs to you, my beloved. But yours is just
Hello?
between your past and
Blitz, is that you?
You must decide, for my own sake or yours.
Hello?
How could you
Show
force
yourself!
your voice on me?
Where are you?
Boo. Hello, Stolas.
Sweet mercy! Are you insane?
No, that would imply a mental illness.
Why would you do that?
My hypothesis. If I shift behind you and scare you, then you will have an extreme reaction because you are alone here and have no more power or ability to defend yourself from danger.
Fuck you!
Look how far you've fallen. From royalty to poverty. This life you live doesn't suit you, does it? Living in this filth? A far cry from your old estate and pillars of marble. Away from your money, those you care about. It must be difficult.
You're sick! You're a monster with no understanding of empathy or compassion!
Now, there's no need for that harsh language.
I've already given you everything I had! I answered your fucking questions and then more! What else is there to gain? Just leave me alone! Say something!
I understand what you're going through is...
You don't get to say that! You have no idea what I'm going through and I'm not playing your sick game anymore!
Calm yourself. You're in distress.
I don't want to speak with you anymore. The only thing you do is remind me of my demons and make me miserable. Just get out!
Octavia,
What?
do you remember when you came to my office and forbade me from speaking with her?
Yes? What have you done, you?
Let me explain. I have not broken my promise. Since I gave my word to you, I have not met with Octavia once. However, there is still much for me to learn from her.
Don't you fucking dare! If you so much as even look at her!
I know about your attempt to see her after your banishment, as well as what happened afterwards. I am aware that you two are not on speaking terms at the moment, and I am sorry for you.
I've come to know you enough, James. You're not sorry at all. Your words are as empty as the void where your heart should be.
If that's the case, then the daggers of your words meant to wound me are missing the heart they should be impaling. Do not waste your breath, former prince. As I was saying, because Octavia's trust and love for you shattered, she is spending all her time with her mother. As someone who personally spoke with Stella, there could be some causes for concern. Specifically, my favorite word that begins with the letter M.
What are you saying?
Manipulation.
Please, just... Why are you doing this to me?
Octavia is still growing. If my knowledge of basic human psychology hasn't diminished, the brain continues to develop and grow until the age of 25. That gives Stella quite a bit of time to weave Octavia's mind to her liking.
I know that! I know I'm in deep shit! I know my life is over! I lost everything, and I don't need someone the likes of you telling me over and over again! Just let me live what's left of my life in peace!
Do you want to see Octavia again?
What are you doing?
Do you want to see your child again?
Yes.
Do you want your old life back?
More than anything.
Including the abuse you've taken from Stella?
You know about that?
I do.
If it means I can be with Octavia again, I would suffer that torment 1,000 times over.
It seems Octavia is the only thing that is keeping you sane.
What do you think?
I think you should do some reflection.
Why? I've already spent countless nights lamenting in my own tears thinking about this. I don't know if I'm strong enough to keep going.
What are you implying?
Octavia is what kept me from going mad all those years. She was my reminder every single morning that not all was lost. And now that I'll only ever be a bad memory to her, there's nothing left for me. Nothing would change if I continued to suffer or disappeared. What's stopping me from...
I know what you're insinuating.
Even after my banishment is over, Octavia will have completely moved on. I'll be a stranger to her. 100 years. And even before then, Blitzø will have already passed away. There is nothing I could do. Nothing I can salvage. Is there any reason for me to continue existing?
Yes.
Are you saying that because it's what anybody else would say? Or because you genuinely believe so? Well?
I believe your life holds value regardless of your current economic standing.
Forget about the money and palace. I'm talking about Blitzø, Octavia, the people I love. I'm nothing without them. And now...
Perhaps you answered your own question? The ones you care about are the reason you should continue on.
No, you don't understand. It's over for me. Octavia does not wish to have me in her life anymore. It doesn't matter if my banishment ends today or a century from now. I'm dead to her. And what good is this life now? Even if I'm with Blitzø, I'm still haunted by the thoughts of my daughter and how I will never again have that happiness I once shared with her. I need her.
It seems that you need both Octavia and Blitzø in your life.
I don't know. This isn't... All I ever wanted was...
You have a lot of things on your mind. Tell me about your frustrations. Perhaps it will clear your head.
It's all my fault.
What is?
Everything! I should have just...
Let yourself speak. Don't hold back anything. You can trust me.
My entire life has been a constant stream of negative and positive things that fluctuate so often that it drives me to the brink of insanity. When I was a child, I was given my grimoire on my birthday, but not even a single hour later, I was already fated to marry that insufferable wretch. Throughout my adolescence, I focused on my studies and books, which brought me some semblance of joy, but I could never fully enjoy it because of my impending fate. Upon the forced marriage's conclusion, I was given praise, but also a bride who loved me as much as vampires love sunlight. I was forced into a life of doing things I was not comfortable with in the slightest. I thought that I could change things to make it work. I told myself, no. I convinced myself that it was normal, that I was the one at fault for such things. But Octavia changed my world when she was born. I cared for her, and I loved her with all my heart and soul. She was the only joy in that life. But of course, the happiness I felt from Via was countered by that constant torment Stella brought upon me. It went to such a point that I needed medication to keep myself numb to the pain. My sanity had become dependent on my daughter and a stupid bottle of pills. And then this ordeal with Blitzø happened. I'd been so starved for attention and care from a person I would consider my partner for so long that I didn't even think about what I was doing. Stella found out about what I did, and I never heard the end of it. I tried so hard to maintain what kept me happy then. I wanted Blitzø and Octavia as the only people in my life. But I was foolish to think that fate would allow me such a kindness. I can't do it anymore.
I see. What happened next?
You already know that, James. My deal with Blitzø was discovered and I was punished for it.
If I recall correctly, you were willing to sacrifice your own life to save Blitzø's. Instead, you were simply banished and had your powers taken away.
I couldn't just stand by and watch. The guilt would have eaten me alive.
I am beginning to piece together your current situation. What exactly happened when you attempted to see Octavia after your banishment?
I was desperate. At that moment, I decided that marching back to my home was the only way I could see Via again. I, of course, was unsuccessful, instead being greeted by Entrelphis, Stella's pompous brother.
Is he the one with these ice powers I heard about?
Yes. Before things got hectic and Blitzø came to help, I managed to land a few blows on that prick. I would be lying if I said those punches didn't feel good. When the battle ensued, Octavia intervened and stopped everything shortly after. I wanted to explain so much to her in that moment, but... fuck. It still hurts to think about.
Did she say anything about you lying to her?
I didn't. I never meant... I know I made a promise to her. And I know how it must have looked to her, but...
What did you promise her exactly?
That I would never leave her. And I never would. I still love her.
And the medication? Did Octavia find it?
Yes, but she was mistaken. I wasn't taking them for her.
What else did she say?
She was angry with me. She thought that I only stayed with Stella because of her, that it was all in obligation. But I swear on my life it wasn't!
You have to understand how this must have looked from her perspective. Her father makes a promise not to leave, yet he is cast out and goes away regardless. He also relied on medication without telling her. Now he's gone from her life. All because he wanted to save the life of the imp, which caused her family to break apart.
Don't drag Blitzø into this! He did nothing wrong!
Wasn't he on trial first? For having a grimoire belonging to the Ars Goetia family.
But that was my fault! I'm the one who gave it to him!
Regardless, how do you suppose Octavia sees Blitzø? Let's imagine that scenario for a bit. I am Princess Octavia of the Ars Goetia. You are my father, and my mother is Stella. As I grow up, I can tell that my mom and dad don't exactly love each other. But it's likely nothing. Surely nothing bad would come of that. Then I wake up one morning to hear the sounds of shouting. My father has cheated on my mother with... what's this? An imp? My trust for you would certainly be put into question. This causes my parents to enter a trial for divorce, which, believe me, is something no child should have to suffer through. Now, my father is spending more time hating my mother and loving that imp than caring for me.
That's not what happened!
Really? That's almost exactly what Octavia told me. Why does he hate her more than he loves me?
She said that?
Now, my father makes promises to me, yet doesn't hesitate for a second to throw his life away for the imp that caused my parents to divorce, leaving me all alone. I don't know about your Via, but I would despise that imp. Oh, no tears, please. They won't fix anything.
Is this why you do it?
I'm sorry?
Do you derive some sick pleasure seeing others in pieces? You took the time to track me down. Wait for who knows how long, just watching me. Snuck into this place, and now you have the audacity to speak to me about my feelings when I'm barely holding on for dear life. I can't imagine what you put others through, or your employees. There's only one word to describe you. Whatever you are, James, you're twisted!
Do you feel better now that you've released some of your frustrations?
Stop talking to me like I'm a fucking patient of yours!
Would you mind answering me one more question?
No! Just go away!
I am as true as my word, Stolas. You already know this. If you answer me this final question, I will leave you at peace for good.
I don't believe you.
Then let's make a deal. Answer this final question for me, and I shall leave you and Octavia alone forever.
I suppose.
However, I am adding one small, fun condition to this agreement.
What is it?
This entire deal and its conditions will be rendered void if you or Octavia ever seek me out.
What?
I believe I made myself clear.
Why? What's the point of that?
Curiosity. What else?
There is no chance in a single eternity that I will even consider talking to you again.
And that will keep me away. But can you say the same for little Octavia?
What are you talking about?
Curiosity is a fascinating thing, especially in the form it takes within the mind of a child. On the night of October 30th last year, Octavia came to my home, looking for me. I wasn't home at the time, but...
No, you're lying!
It amazes me how some people fall into denial when face to face with the truth.
Everything you say is meant to manipulate and...
Oh, come now, Stolas. I thought you said you knew me.
My Octavia would never do something so...
But she did. Like I said, curiosity. Ever since you taught her that little clairvoyance trick, I've occupied a little space in her head. Something to cause the smallest little itch every now and then. And there's only one way to scratch that itch.
Answering questions.
Bingo. And all this, it's all meant to scratch mine.
So, if I never find you, you'll leave me alone?
Correct.
But if Octavia seeks you out...
Then I'll be seeing you and Octavia again soon after.
Shit.
Decisions. Can you trust Octavia to resist scratching that itch?
You're a fucking monster!
Still trying to hurt my feelings. You can't draw blood from a stone, Stolas. Now, what will it be? You may deny answering this question, and we will continue to meet. But I will maintain my promise to you and leave Octavia completely alone. If you choose to answer my final question, I shall leave you alone as well. But if Octavia decides to find me again, I will have free rein to meet with you and her to my heart's content. Well, a lack thereof, according to you.
I can't. I couldn't. If she... Fuck! All right. I'll do it.
Excellent.
Ask your question.
I believe that your life is split between two different paths, both of which hold happiness, but also lack something else you would need. Specifically, the two most important people in your life right now, Blitzø and Octavia. Based on everything I have seen so far, I surmise that, eventually, you might need to choose one over the other. Permanently.
What are you saying?
If presented with such a life-altering decision, where those two were both in severe danger, and you only had the strength to rescue one, who would you choose to save? Blitzø or Octavia?
That's an impossible question!
It's a simple choice, really. Who do you love more?
You can't expect me to simply make a choice like that! They both mean so much to me! I don't know!
You don't know?
I can't choose! I can't!
You know, Stolas, this tells me more than if you simply answered with one of the two.
I'm sorry, but this isn't a decision I can make. I can't give you an answer.
That'll do. Thank you.
What?
Your answer was uncertainty. I almost expected such a response from someone as caring and attached as you.
So, does that mean...
Yes. I shall leave you alone.
I really hope I won't regret this.
Before I leave, I wish to thank you. You have provided me with so much to ponder on. It amazes me what your life has become, as well as your personal values of others you love. Octavia is your own flesh and blood, someone you raised from the moment she hatched. To think that someone that important to you would have the same value to you as a lowly imp. The same imp who is responsible for your current situation. I shall take my leave. May your days be quiet and peaceful.
Good riddance. I hope Octavia does the right thing.
Oh right, one more thing. Because I am still honoring your wish to stay away from Octavia, she will unfortunately not be informed of the deal you and I made.
What? No! That's cheating! You...
Goodbye, Stolas. Remember that promises can hurt as much as they can help.
You twisted fucking psychopath! You have to tell her!
Perhaps if you reach her in time, you can explain everything.
You fucking snake!
Goodness me. You really want me to tell her that badly?
Please!
Easy now. Calm yourself, Stolas. I shall arrange a meeting between her and a friend of mine. Would that suffice? Very well. I suppose I owe you as much. Damn it. Take care of yourself, Stolas.